I'm an expert and a shiatsu massage therapist, and what I do is magic. I help women who feel trapped in toxic relationships figure out how to stop having toxic relationships and figure out how to stop being involved with people that at this time don't respect you, don't particularly like you, don't wish the best for you. And you learn how to change how you show up in the world and create relationships that work for everybody. It's not either or, it's not you or me. It's something that actually works for everybody involved. Whether you talk to the person ever again, whether you get divorced or not, you can still do what's best for everybody without placing yourself in a position of being taken advantage of. So that's what I do. So welcome. Today we're talking about the secret every toxic person hides from you. And this secret is that you are way more powerful than them. You have the ability and you have the tools and you have the intelligence and curiosity and desire just by watching this video that you're not willing to do things the way that they've always been. You know, many times narcissists and other toxic people suffer most of their lives. And the reason they suffer most of their lives is because things never get bad enough for them where they realize that what they're doing just doesn't work, that it's not the way forward. It's not the way to create a life that you want. You, on the other hand, have been abused and taken advantage of and manipulated and lied to. You know, maybe you've had rage texts. Maybe you've had secrets told about you. Maybe you've been blackmailed. Maybe your narcissist threatened to go to your friends and tell them something that you're embarrassed about, or to go to your family and create a rift between you and them. What a narcissist doesn't have is they don't have the curiosity and the interest and the desire to do something different. You know, that's one of the upsides of being victimized by people. It's very motivating. It's very inspiring. When you're the bully, people don't stand up to you until you find a bully that's bigger than you. But when you're an empath, you tend to be bullied by a lot of people because they don't realize they're bullying you. And so you take it over and over and over and over. And you learn that the only control that you really have is the control of how you show up in the world, how much water you drink in a day, how much fiber you eat in a day, whether you went for a walk, whether you meditated, whether you watched this live stream, whether you looked up breathing techniques, whether you looked up a diet that keeps your emotions more balanced. You have an enormous amount of power because you know that the only way to create a different life is to show up differently to your life. Now, we get trapped a lot of times by narcissists because we start to doubt ourselves. You know, after a lifetime, for empaths, after a lifetime of everybody being dysregulated and telling you that you're wrong and that you're too sensitive and that you don't know what you're talking about, in reality, you're probably the only one who was seeing the truth. You're the only one who was seeing what was really going on. You were the one that saw the dynamics and the interactions. And you weren't being oversensitive, you were just being sensitive. You as an empath are designed to be, let's say, the canary in the coal mine. The one that looks around and says, you know what, we have a problem here, we need to do something about it. So because you have that curious mind, because you have the desire to do something different, to be different, to show up differently in the world, because you have that, you are way more powerful than any toxic person, than any narcissist could be. What they've got on their side is a level of dysfunction and a level of anger or hurt or fear that is actually way bigger than yours because they don't have that curiosity. They aren't actually interested in making their lives better. So many narcissists, they get stuck and trapped in their pattern of their thinking, and they aren't interested in changing it because why should they? If they can just find another empath who doesn't know any better, then they've got it made in the shade. They'll find some woman to support them, to pay all of their bills. They'll find some person to do all the work. They'll find some empath to feel sorry for them and to worry about them, and they'll never make a difference. You, on the other hand, had the tough road. You had the road where you had to learn for yourself that no one's going to come in and rescue you. No one's going to do anything for you. No one's going to save you from yourself. And so you know that as an empath and as a person who's suffered under the hands of toxic people, that you can't change, that you have the ability to change. You know what? Many toxic people and narcissists don't. They can get better or they can get worse. But the reason that they behave the way that they do is complex. It has to do with their brain chemistry. It has to do with their physical self. It has to do with many things that they don't have any control over, that they can only manage. You know, it's like having diabetes or having some chronic illness. You can manage it. You can make the best choices that you can, but it's still there. It doesn't go away. And so empaths realize that they don't have that problem. They've just been victimized over and over and over, thinking, why is this narcissist acting this way? Why are they behaving this way? Why don't they just make a different choice? If they don't feel good, why don't they just do something different? Why would they be so angry about the thermostat? Why can't they just turn it back up or down or off? Why can't they just ask a question? Why can't they just say, hey, what did this mean? They're not capable of it. Their brains are not wired at this time to be able to think thoughtfully around those things. They're only designed to think reactively. You, on the other hand, have the ability to change how you feel, change how you show up in the world. You're curious and you're interested about doing something different. And because of that, you will always, 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 always come out ahead, because you aren't going to let life stop you. You aren't going to let life control you anymore. You are going to decide for yourself what kind of life you want to live. And that is the secret ingredient. That's the key. That's the magic. Not that you're trapped and helpless and knowing the right or the perfect thing to do. It's a whole switch where you go from, oh my God, how do I stop a narcissist from attacking me, to, I'm never going to allow a narcissist to attack me again. It's a different mindset. It's a different way of being. Now, one of the things that gets in the way of all empaths and narcissists as well is when there's stress that has been left in the brain from past trauma. When you have any sort of past trauma, and trauma is anything you were helpless to, you didn't have, it came unexpectedly, and you didn't have an opportunity to process through it or work it out in your mind. Or maybe you were a child and you weren't able to work it out. Or maybe it was a dangerous situation and you couldn't talk about it. Maybe you went so deep into disassociation that you forgot about it. That happens to a lot of women. Something happens and then they don't realize what had happened until decades later, because their bodies protected them so much. So the secret every toxic person does not want you to know, what they're hiding from you, is that you are way more powerful than them. You've got way more authority. You've got way more strength, way more intelligence, way more creativity, because they are locked into the patterns of being stressed out, the patterns of their crazy brain, of their crazy body. They can't change that. You, on the other hand, don't have those same sorts of issues. Your body keeps, reacting, but you are learning how to control that. You're learning how to manage it, whether it's with walks. I took a walk. I've been taking a walk every morning for a while. I get up at 6 a.m. and go for 2.2 miles. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I'm pretty grumpy when I get up. And I am resisting usually for 90% of the walk. But my body's happy for it. And tomorrow I'll feel better because of it. That's how this works. Because you're curious, because you're open-minded, because you're not attached to being or acting a certain way, you are going to come out ahead. You're going to win. You're going to make it happen. You're going to make it work, because they can't think their way out of a paper bag. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care how much information they can spew at you. I don't care how many little petty details they remember or notice about things. It doesn't matter. When someone is like that, it means that their brain is not working efficiently, that their brain is all over the place, and that they aren't really attached to their intuition. They aren't attached to all the resources they have available. They don't have people who understand them. They don't have people who truly support them. They don't have an understanding of themselves. It's all intellectual. It's all in their head. They don't understand on a practical level how these things work. Now, you, on the other hand, being empathic and sensitive and being able to see the dynamics, being able to see the relationships, seeing what's underneath the surface because you can feel it. You have the power and you have the authority. And the only thing that gets in your way is that they taught you and they trained you and they brainwashed you when you were young, when you were a child, when you were a little girl, that the way to be a good person in this world was to be nice and keep your mouth shut. Stories of hands over mouths and being kicked under the table. Stories of being very directly told, girls don't talk. Girls need to support boys. You know, that's a mindset, and it's one that you weren't the only one that learned. A lot of women learned that. You weren't the only one. This isn't just a fluke that you're in a relationship with a narcissist. The thing is many, lots of women are in relationships with narcissists, and they're all just as secretive and all just as hidden as yours. There's women walking around having these struggles, being verbally abused, being emotionally abused, being told that they're nothing, being told that they'll never be able to accomplish something, that they're crazy, that they're the ones that need help. More women than you know are walking around with that very same experience. That's the secret, is that this isn't just a one-off. This isn't just because it's your fault and you do it wrong. This is an epidemic. It's an epidemic that you're part of. And the only way to break out of it is to realize and recognize this secret. You are powerful. And when you start to regulate your system, when you start to do the things that keep you happy and healthy, that make you feel good, guess what? You become smarter and more creative and more interesting than a narcissist could ever be. Because they have that shallowness. They only go an inch deep, no matter what they show to everybody else. You know they only go an inch deep. You, on the other hand, have a taproot that goes to the center of the earth. You are someone who's connected. You are someone who understands the bigger picture. You are someone who sees the dynamics. There's no way you can lose. It's only the fact that they brainwashed you, that you were a loser, and that you don't deserve to stand up for yourself, and you don't deserve to feel good, and you don't deserve to have what you want. That's the only thing that gets in the way. It's that belief. It's that idea. And when you start to drop it, and when you start to make different choices, not choices to please a narcissist, but choices to please yourself. That's the trick. When you start to do the things that make you feel good, you will move forward. And it's not going to turn you into a narcissist. I know you're worried about that. It's not going to turn you into a bad person. I know you're worried about that. When you are in a good space, you naturally, because you're an empath, will look out for the good of everyone. I had a mentor who used to say, empaths just want people to get along. We just want people to get along because we feel everything that's happening. Could you just get along? I'm sick of everybody making me feel crazy. So you know when you feel good and you get what you need, you're going to look out for the health and well-being of everyone. You are not a narcissist. Maybe you behave like a narcissist sometimes, but underneath, you're an empath. You're an empath who cares about people. And even though you may wonder why everybody else doesn't care, why the narcissist doesn't care, why the toxic person pretends to care but really can't reach that deep, when you're wondering that, it's because you, my dear, are the unicorn. You are the one who has the power. You're the one who sees the big picture way more than a toxic and narcissistic person can. Okay? That's the big secret. That's the big reveal. So, if you're a sexy, savvy, amazing, wonderful woman and you're tired of being mistreated, you're tired of feeling trapped by your own feelings and being betrayed and the people around you who are toxic and crazy, go to inspiremassage.com or ritahickmancoaching.com. Rita Hickman Coaching isn't up yet, but it will be soon. Find the resources. Oh my gosh, and it doesn't take long. It can only take a few months and you're making a change and you're on a different path. It doesn't take long at all. There's just a few tools that you need, the support that you need, the encouragement, the insight, and we have that. We have all of that for you. You don't have to do this alone. You don't have to be alone. And the changes happen faster than you think. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to mine. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay? Bye.